that I thought was quite charming, and I knew nothing about hunting for truffles. I didn't even know that if you look for truffles you can be called a truffle hunter, but it does make sense. The Truffle Hunters is only 84 minutes in duration and is rated M, and it's a reverential portrait of a group of ageing super sleuths and their beloved dogs. It's quirky. Now, all the hunters showcased are of a certain age, and they have a devotion to what they do, or in one case, have done. They scour the forests of northern Italy in search of the highly prized white alba truffle. Now, the fungi can't be cultivated or found by modern methods. The men, who've got a bit of a wicked sense of humour, love the thrill of the hunt, being at one with nature and being in the outdoors. Greatly appreciate how their faithful hounds manage to sniff out the buried delicacies. Some of these truffle warriors are in their 80s, others their 70s. The local priest blesses one and his dog for what he does, and has been doing for so many decades. His wife implores him to give up the hunt, but he won't. We witness truffle transactions, along with the sniff test that accompanies valuations, and frustration at the way things are versus the way they used to be. But wait, there's steak knives, there's more. The hard word is put onto an old-timer to reveal the source of his truffles before he passes on, while another truffle hunter loves his drum kit almost as much as his truffle hunting. And then an auction house displays its precious lot, for which the bidding is fierce, on a regal red cushion atop a silver cake stand, each side of which are 2 bottles of red wine. That's how much reverence they have for truffles. So it's a celebration of age-old tradition and the characters that still make it so today. And of course modernity has stepped in, some of it positive, but not all. The greed is unbecoming though, Peter, is it not?
It is, and it's quite apparent in the film. Look, it's a very well-made, pleasant, observational documentary, although it also seems quite apparent that there are some scenes that are staged, especially some of the dialogue scenes, which obviously mean that the men involved in particular knew the cameras were there and were playing up to them. I thought overall a bit like Honeyland, although Honeyland I thought was a bit stronger as a documentary. I quite enjoyed it. I just didn't feel that it explored its topic as much as perhaps I would have liked. So it remains as a purely observational documentary, and it does it reasonably well.
We do get to appreciate truffle hunting from a dog's perspective, though, don't we? Because there's a camera fitted onto one of the working animals.
There is. The documentary makers here are a little bit creative in some of the things that they do, but I just found this to be a really fascinating documentary. I loved it. I loved that natural feel, and as Peter said, you can tell that some of the scenes have been staged, but they almost felt so natural that you almost wondered whether or not the camera just happened to catch them, which you know is not true. But I just found this fascinating. One of the best meals I have ever had was a scallop and truffle pasta dish in Tasmania, and I just found this a really fascinating documentary to find out how that truffle got into my food.
Well, the only thing missing here, though, Dave, is the aroma.
Yeah.
Remember smell-o-vision? That never really took off, did it?
Yes, that's quite true. Scratch and sniff.
Yeah, exactly, scratch and sniff. So visually there's a lot to like, as the natural terrain is quite beautiful, and the picture unfolds in a series of internet-connected scenes. I don't think you've seen this one yet, Greg, have you?
No, I haven't.
No, there's no narrator, I've got to say. That simply sort of slice-of-life conversation from those in the front line, and that does, in my opinion, give it an endearing authenticity. To me, Peter, in spite of what you've said, I didn't think much of it appears staged. Now, it may have been, but it doesn't give that appearance. That didn't sway you, though, obviously.
No. And
well,
I must have,
didn't you think I mean, I thought we were made to feel like we're flies on a wall listening in and watching on, and I can't say I've seen too many documentaries like it, so it worked for me, I've got to say. I mean, I reckon I'm all the better for gaining the insight that the truffle hunters gave me. I wish I had so many... I'm a tomato lover, so remember there was that scene between the old-timer and the wife, where they were washing the tomatoes in a bowl?
Yep.
I always wonder about this. Now, this is just me being ignorant, but if you wash something dirty in a bowl, and the bowl becomes dirty because of what you're washing, and then you put, I mean, they must have had 100 tomatoes, then you put the next tomato in it, doesn't the tomato that you're washing get more dirt on it because of the washing in dirty water? Am I being petulant, am I?
No, I think that's why a lot of restaurants actually wash their food in running water and not in a bucket like that.
Correct. That's exactly. Thank you, Dave. You've justified my place in the world. I like it. All right, so let's give a score out of 10, and we'll start at the bottom. Peter.
Beg your pardon. All right. No. Look, it's a good documentary.
The end of the story. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, thank you very much. Look, I quite like the documentary. I think it's been a little bit overrated. And I must admit, I'm not a great fan of truffles, even though I've never had any. It looks like a mushroomy fungus sort of thing, which I will probably gag at. But anyway,
wait a second. How can you make a judgment on? I mean, it's kind of, don't judge a book by its cover. That's very unfortunate. Go, okay, give us a score, please.
Well, it just makes lots of money because it's so rare. Look, it's a reasonable documentary. 7 out of 10.
Well, that's all right. That's not a bad score. Dave, go for it, please.
Well, I loved this documentary. I can't wait to go back and see it again. It's a 9 out of 10 for me.
Oh my golly! Wow. I'm giving it a 7.5. I thought it was very strong as well. It's called The Truffle Hunters, M-rated, 84 minutes.